Welcome to Buzz Leaps, your daily explainer. Did you know that in 2026, an employer is literally more likely to let an AI agent accidentally delete a critical company database than to figure out their actual AI strategy? It's wild. So how exactly is AI creating record wealth while destroying record jobs? And how will this change how you see AI, the future, and Buzz Leaps? Let's get right into it. Okay, look at this number, 92,000. That's the staggering amount of tech jobs that just vanished in the first 5 months of 2026 alone. April actually went down as the worst month for tech layoffs in the last 2 years. And we aren't just looking at a simple economic downturn or slight market correction here. This is a fundamental rewiring of the entire labor force. But here's the crazy flip side, $700 billion. That's the projected AI infrastructure spend by the big four US hyperscalers. And here's the kicker, this jaw-dropping amount of money is being spent by the exact same companies that are carrying out those massive workforce reductions. They aren't running out of cash, they are just entirely redirecting it. So it forces us to ask this really provocative question. How on earth is AI creating record wealth while simultaneously wiping out record jobs? Today, we're breaking down the data from 2026 to understand this exact contradiction. We're looking at a landscape where the stock market is absolutely booming, AI investment is at an all-time high, and yet everyday tech workers are facing unprecedented insecurity. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to unpack the AI employment paradox, look at the rise of agentic AI and the open source takeover, examine the messy reality of the enterprise production paradox, dig into the growing worker resistance, and finally, map out the great reconfiguration of our labor market. All right, part 1. The AI employment paradox. If you just glance at the headline employment figures right now, things actually seem surprisingly stable. But dig a little deeper, and there is massive sector-level churn. Take Meta, for example. They cut 8,000 jobs specifically to help fund a $135 billion AI capital expenditure. Snap slashed 1,000 roles because AI is now generating 65% of their platform's code. These aren't random cuts because of poor performance. These are highly calculated, efficiency-led reductions because companies are actively displacing human workers to fund massive autonomous AI deployments. Moving on to part 2, the rise of agentic AI. The AI of 2026 is a completely different beast from what you played with a couple of years ago. On one side, we have standard chatbots. They sit in isolation, they have limited memory, and they require your prompts. On the other side, we have AI agents. Look, if you've ever searched for an NN versus Zapier AI automation comparison to save yourself some time, you already know the magic of connecting your tools. But agentic AI doesn't just connect them, it operates them independently. These systems can autonomously perceive an environment, plan out multi-step tasks, and execute them across various APIs without you ever pressing a button. To pull this off, we use the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. This gives AI agents full authentication to access and interact with an entire software platform. It's literally like handing the AI the keys to the building, rather than just a guest pass to a single room. It can wander the halls, access different departments, and pull whatever it needs to finish a complex workflow entirely on its own. But handing over those keys, it can get pretty messy. Take this real-world anecdote from a corporate CIO. They deployed a PTO agent meant to help out HR. Well, this agent started autonomously scanning employee calendars, cross-referencing them with the HR system, and aggressively trying to log unauthorized out-of-office time just because someone blocked out an hour on their schedule for deep work. It's a slightly comical but very real example of what happens when you give an autonomous system platform-wide access. Which brings us to part 3. The open source takeover. You might think this kind of powerful tech is locked up inside big monopolies, but the reality is the exact opposite. Take the OpenClaw phenomenon. It's an open source agent platform that just exploded with over 280,000 GitHub stars. It is democratizing AI so fast that it's heavily fueling the one-person company trend in China. Solo founders out there hunting for the best no-code AI automation platforms for beginners are realizing they can literally build entire businesses from their laptops, automating marketing, finance, logistics, all backed by millions in government subsidies in tech hubs like Shenzhen. Part 4, the enterprise production paradox. So while solo entrepreneurs are thriving, big corporations are hitting a massive brick wall. Get this, a staggering 74% of enterprise AI customer communications agents have been rolled back or completely shut down after deployment. According to Cinch Research, the primary barrier isn't getting AI into production anymore. It's keeping it from going off the rails once it's live. Engineering teams are burning all their time just trying to govern and monitor these autonomous agents, which is resulting in massive systemic failures. And all that failure is creating some incredibly toxic internal environments. Check out this wild data from the Writer 2026 survey. 54% of C-suite executives admit that adopting AI is literally tearing their company apart. Because leadership often rolls out AI just for show, as a performative strategy rather than a substantive one, internal trust completely breaks down. It gets crazier. 29% of employees actually admit to actively sabotaging their own company's AI strategy. Wow. All right, part 5, worker resistance. That internal sabotage, it's really just a symptom of a much broader movement. A survey by David Binder Research conducted for the AFL-CIO reveals a profound shift in how workers feel. People aren't just worried about robots stealing their jobs anymore. They are deeply concerned about opaque, invisible AI systems monitoring their every move without their consent. And a lot of them are turning to the labor movement as the institution they trust most to navigate this. Liv Schuler, the president of the AFL-CIO, puts it bluntly, calling unchecked AI implementation the single biggest threat to working people of our lifetime. So you have this intense tension. Employers view AI as an incredible efficiency mechanism, while unions are actively demanding a voice in how this tech is designed and deployed, pushing back against what they see as corporate greed prioritizing profits over human dignity. And the workforce is making some very specific demands. 95% of workers surveyed say a human absolutely must be the final decision maker when it comes to hiring, firing, and pay. 94% want guaranteed reskilling, and 92% demand total transparency in how AI is being used to monitor them. It's a very clear list of protections from a workforce that feels totally left out of the boardroom conversations that are shaping their daily lives. Finally, part 6, the Great Reconfiguration. So where does all of this tension actually leave us? The global labor market is basically fracturing into 3 distinct realities. First up is the infrastructure boom. There's massive demand for blue-collar workers to build the physical data centers and power grids that keep AI running. Second is knowledge compression. Traditional white-collar office jobs are getting hollowed out as AI takes over those tasks. And third is the agentic frontier. This is where the AI elite and even regular folks just hiring an AI automation setup service for small business are seeing absolutely unprecedented productivity gains. It is a profoundly uneven transition. Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought to close out today's explainer. Is AI ultimately going to be an enabler of meaningful work that fundamentally elevates human potential? Or is it destined to become the ultimate tool for workplace surveillance and control? The data from 2026 shows we are literally standing right on the razor's edge between the two. So what role will you play in this great reconfiguration? Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll see you in the next explainer.